Well, no, I might not do that.
Hello and good evening, and with that wonderful laugh from Miriam, I welcome you all to tonight's workshop. Thank you for joining us for the second of our Christmas Fantasia workshops. So for a start, let's talk about what we're going to do. Actually, let's not talk, because there's always a few people who come a little bit late. So I'll talk about other things first before we talk about what we're going to do tonight. I'd like to remind all of you that we have a Facebook group. There's a link to that in the information below. Please join the group. It's been very useful having people engage with us between the workshops. We're learning a lot. As I'm sure you're aware, we're all doing things in new ways for the first time. So we really do appreciate the feedback we're getting. It's very helpful. So some of the information that we've been getting this week is that if some of you have been having problems with or difficulties with encoder, either you've struggled to set it up or you don't have enough screens to be using it. Just to make it clear why we decided to go with using another app was to enable us to engage with contemporary music in a way that is legal and sort of I think it's working for some and not for others. So I just wanted to say that we've put links on the core.app/music page. So on the music page on the core website, we have also put links in for people who would like to purchase the music in an old-fashioned way and have it sent to you in the post. And you want to keep it that way, then we put those links in for you to do that. And the average price, I think, for these carols is about £2.99 plus whatever the shipping would be. And we will continue to work on these carols over the next 3-4 weeks. So it is worthwhile you perhaps ordering them tomorrow. They hopefully would be arriving by next Monday. So if you don't have the music tonight, you could have it for next week. So we have listened to that, and that's one way we can do it. Also, I'll put more information on the website about how to sign up for Encoder and get that installed to help those of you who have signed up and are still struggling a little with the technology. We'll help you with that as well. So that was that. Oh yes, and then what we're going to sing. So tonight we're going to work on I Heard the Bells on Christmas Day, the Ed Newton Rex carol, and we'll also look at that lovely carol that we sang last week, Baby in an Ox's Stall. We might not get through all of those this week, because I've also heard from people that you'd like me to go a little bit slower, particularly on some of the difficult ones. And I Heard the Bells on Christmas Day has got lots of tricky rhythms in, which is why we're going to start with that after Hannah's warm-up. And at the end, we'll finish off by singing Christmas Day again, because I know that you've all got that from last week. And if you haven't, go to the music page on core.app and you can download the PDF for that because it's not in copyright. So that's what we're going to do. Let me just introduce who's with me tonight. I've got Miriam, soprano, is joining us again this week. Hannah is our mezzo-soprano, joining us again this week. Maybe step this side so we can see Ed. Edward is our tenor. And Tom on bass. And joining us for the next 3 weeks is Caroline Jaya-Ratnam, is our pianist this week. Welcome. So, I am going to step aside for a few minutes and allow Hannah to come in and do what she's promised is going to be a particularly tongue-twisting warm-up. Over to you, Hannah.
Thanks, Simon. Good evening, everyone. I'm going to start with a sort of physical warm-up, which I often find I don't manage to do when I'm singing, but actually it's time always very well invested. So if you're sitting down, if you're able to stand up, that will be better. And we're going to start just with nice, gentle, not bent knees, but make sure your knees aren't locked. And then I want you just to raise your shoulders up and drop them down and raise them up and let them drop. And one more time, raise them and let them drop. And then we'll just do some circles backwards. Really feel into those, in my case, very tight shoulder muscles. And then just lift the arms up a little bit to get a little bit more movement. And then go back the other way, forwards. And just shake the arms out a little bit. And then put your left hand on your hip and reach your right arm up and take a really nice deep in-breath and stretch up as high as you can with the right hand and then lean over gently to the side. Don't ever go further than feels good, but you should have a really nice stretch all the way down your inside of the right, just stretching out those ribs. And then back to the centre and arm down. And we'll swap sides. So right hand on your hip, raise the left hand. Nice big in-breath and reach over. Oh. You can make all the groaning noises you want at home because no one will hear you. Or him. And now we're just going to do a gentle twist. So put your right hand across to your left hip and your left arm behind back. So I'll stand like that so you can see. And you'll feel just a gentle twist. Again, don't go further than feels good, but this should feel a really nice opening here across the front of the chest. And then back to centre, and the same the other side. So your left hand onto your right hip, right hand back of the left hip, and try and keep your head nice and central, so you're not straining your neck or anything like that. And back to centre, and then we're just going to, from the waist, just fall. I might go off camera for a bit now, but just bend gently from the waist, and let yourself just hang really loose. You can sway a bit from side to side. You can feel that nice stretch up the back of each leg and around your lower back, just a really gentle release. And just hang there. And then I want you to do a slight bend in the knees and then roll up very slowly, one vertebra at a time. And then bring your neck up and your head up last of all. And just have a little check it out. And hopefully you're now feeling a little bit more present in your bodies than you might have been. So we're going to start with some very gentle vocal warm-ups. The trouble with warming up is it often sounds quite unpleasant and it's often quite boring. But I think if you were going to run a race, you wouldn't just sprint straight out the door. So think of it as finding the little bit in the middle of your voice that feels good and comfortable, and we're just going to gradually warm up and stretch the muscles that we're going to use for singing later. So perhaps Caroline can help us at this point. We'll just start by singing maybe on a C. Some of you will have noticed we've not gone terribly high so far. That's absolutely fine. Always when you're warming up, start small and get bigger so that we'll get to the higher ranges. And I should also say that if you're doing this at home and if at any point it starts to feel uncomfortable and your voice isn't ready for whatever range we're in, feel free to drop out for a few exercises, drop down an octave, whatever feels like it's helping you. It's really important that you trust your own instincts about what you're feeling and what works for you. And you will find when you're warming up that some things work much better than others, and if you practice it, you will find that you come up with something that works for you. So we're going to go down a little bit in range now, so we'll start maybe on a B flat, and we'll go and then we'll go down a semitone from there, okay? Second to say that make sure when you're going back up the fifth, you're not jumping, there's nothing jerky there, you're just feeling the voice going back up to where it was and back down. So we can carry on with that in mind. Yep. Slightly faster moving exercises, so we'll start and we'll sing and so on. Oh yes. Feeling a little bit more agile vocally. What we're going to do now for the last couple of minutes is something to wake up the brain, just in case any of you have got to the end of a sleepy day or you're having a sort of post-dinner slump or something. The first one we're going to do is about Mighty Mouse, and we will sing Mighty Mouse, Mighty Mouse, Mighty Mouse, Mighty Mouse, Mouse, Mouse. Oh, and you don't need to sing the second mouse, but that's why we're going. Okay, and we'll go quite fast, so that you really need to keep the brain and the tongue and everything alive. Okay, 3, 4.
Mighty Mouse, Mighty Mouse, Mighty Mouse, Mighty Mouse, Mouse. Mighty Mouse, Mighty Mouse, Mighty Mouse, Mighty Mouse, Mouse. Mighty Mouse, Mighty Mouse, Mighty Mouse, Mighty Mouse, Mouse. Mighty Mouse, Mighty Mouse, Mighty Mouse, Mighty Mouse, Mouse. Mighty Mouse, Mighty Mouse, Mighty Mouse, Mighty Mouse, Mouse. Mighty Mouse, Mighty Mouse, Mighty Mouse, Mighty Mouse, Mouse. Mighty Mouse, Mighty Mouse, Mighty Mouse, Mighty Mouse, Mouse. Mighty Mouse, Mighty Mouse, Mighty Mouse, Mighty Mouse, Mouse.
Thank you. I have to say that's one of my favourites, standing in front of a choir watching people falling over themselves. I've got one more for you to try, which is very familiar, I'm sure, but never seems to get any easier, and that is Red Lorry, Yellow Lorry. So we will sing a scale up and down. Red lorry, yellow lorry, red lorry, yellow lorry, red, etc. I'm already falling over it, but that's what we're in for. Okay, 3 and
Red lorry, yellow lorry, 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 red lorry, yellow lorry. Red lorry, yellow lorry, 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 red lorry, yellow lorry. Red lorry, yellow lorry, 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 red lorry, yellow lorry.
one more.
That was very enjoyable. Well, now that everything is warmed up, the body, the vocal cords, the lips and the tongue, let's have a look at I Heard the Bells on Christmas Day.
Sorry, what page is this on?
This is in...
About 2/3 of the way through 28, 29.
Ah, very good. Got it, yeah.
Actually, whilst you're looking for the music,
No,
I think one of the things, if you want to sit down actually for a moment, is to talk about words and carols. I think this has come up, well, you brought it up beautifully last week when we were talking about God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen and actually thinking about the words and telling the story that exists with that. I think we do get into a routine often with carols of singing the music and not really paying that much attention to the verses. And also, we do this thing of chopping out all sorts of verses. So we might do O Come, O Ye Faithful, and only end up doing verses 1, 2, and 6 out of 7 verses. Sometimes there's good reason for that. The verses are not perhaps applicable anymore. But in the case of the carols that we're looking at in this workshop, and I think in particular with Longfellow's text for this carol, it really is worth looking at and reading and thinking about the text as we go through to that, through this carol. And I actually wanted to maybe just read this poem for you. One of the lovely things about Ed Newton Rex's setting of these lyrics is he does set the entire poem, which is not the case with all the settings of I Heard the Bells on Christmas Day. And to place this carol into context, for those of you who don't know, it was written during the American Civil War, and it was written both as a carol or a poem of hope. The very end of the poem is extremely hopeful, but it was also mirrored Longfellow's despair at hearing bells being rung for Christmas and at the same time hearing the guns firing as the Civil War was in sort of bloodiest height. So I think it's worth just listening to these words and thinking about these, and maybe we'll put them up on the website as well for those of you who can't find it by doing a search. Just have a little read through. I heard the bells on Christmas Day, their old familiar carols play, and wild and sweet the words repeat of peace on earth, goodwill to men. And thought how, as the day had come, the belfries of all Christendom had rolled along the unbroken song of peace on earth, goodwill to men. Till ringing, singing on its way, the world revolved from night to day, a voice, a chime, a chant sublime of peace on earth, goodwill to men. Then from each black, accursed mouth, the cannon thundered in the south, and with the sound the carols drowned of peace on earth, goodwill to men. It was as if an earthquake rent the hearthstones of a continent and made forlorn the households born of peace on earth, goodwill to men. And in despair I bowed my head. There is no peace on earth, I said, for hate is strong and mocks the song of peace on earth, goodwill to men. Then pealed the bells more loud and deep. God is not dead, nor doth he sleep. The wrong shall fail, the right prevail, with peace on earth, goodwill to men. Incredibly beautiful and powerful words, and particularly poignant, I think, in a time where we are dealing with so much uncertainty and worry. And hopefully there will be lots of pealing of bells this Christmas. So anyway, let's sing some of this now and look at this beautiful setting of those beautiful words. And I've got a bit of a mental challenge for you too. Maybe not tongue twisters, but we've got a few rhythms to think about here. So we are going in 5/4, so 5 beats to a bar. And if you want to think about each of those 5/4 bars in a 3, triangle for a 3, and a 2. So I heard the bells on Christmas Day. Let's just sing just that much. I heard the bells on Christmas Day. 1, 2.
I heard
So there's the 5. I heard the bells on Christmas Day. It's all nicely in unison, so let's sing that again. 1, 2.
I heard the bells on Christmas Day.
Off. Let's do the next phrase. The old familiar carols phrase. Now it breaks off into harmonies. And.
The old familiar carols play.
Good. Let's actually break that down. Let's have the bass line for that second phrase there. Their old carols play. So you just get old carols. No familiar, just old carols. 3, 4.
The old carols play.
Off. So you also got that syncopation, yes? So 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5. We can take that again, please, Tom. 3, 4, 5.
The old carols play.
1, 2, 3, off. Excellent. If we could take the tenor line now, please, with Ed. 3, 4.
The old familiar carols play.
Be careful not to rush the quavers there on the syncopated rhythms. And 1, da, 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 da. So, and bum, ba, bum, ba, ba, da, da. Let's take that again, please. 3, 4.
The old familiar carols play.
1, 2, 3, off. Let's take that both tenors and basses, please. 3, 4.
The old familiar carols play.
Off. Fantastic. Okay, now, altos, you have old carols like the basses, but notice you're tied from a dotted crotchet to a crotchet. So actually you're going to be counting 3 beats before you give me that quaver. So 1, 2, 3 carols. They're old carols. Yes, can we just take that please with Hannah? 3, 4.
The old carols play.
And again please. 3, 4.
The old carols play.
Let's have altos, tenors and basses please. 3, 4.
The old familiar carols play.
Off. Sopranos. Thank you for your patience. Here we go. 3, 4.
The old familiar carols play.
Let's take that again. 3, 4.
The old familiar carols play.
Fabulous. Everybody, let's take that. 3, 4.
The old familiar carols play.
From the top. 3, 4.
I heard the bells on Christmas Day. The old familiar carols play.
Excellent. Let's sing the next part, please. And wild and sweet, and then we'll break it down. We'll go through to men, so bar 9. 3, 4.
And wild and sweet the words repeat of peace on earth, goodwill to men.
Off. Fabulous. Okay, let's start with the sopranos this time. 3, 4.
And wide and sweet the words repeat of peace on earth, goodwill to men.
Off. Fabulous. Let's do it one more time. 3, 4.
And wide and sweet the words repeat of peace on earth, goodwill to men.
Let's take the alto line now, please. Similar rhythm, but obviously sustaining a D there. Here we go. 3, 4.
And wild and sweet the words repeat of peace on earth, goodwill to men, to men.
Okay, let's take that again. Let's just take that again, and then we'll put the sopranos and altos together. 3, 4.
And wild and sweet the words repeat of peace on earth, goodwill to men, to men.
sopranos and altos, please. 3, 4.
And wild and sweet the words they beat, of peace on earth, goodwill to men,
Lovely. Tenors, please. Sing along with top, there with Ed. 3, 4.
And wild and sweet the words repeat, of peace on earth, goodwill to men.
Off. Smashing. Let's take that again. 3, 4.
And wild and sweet the words repeat, of peace on earth, goodwill to men.
Sopranos, altos, and tenors, please. All together. 3, 4.
And wild and sweet the words repeat, of peace on earth, goodwill to men.
Basses, please. So you can come in a bar later. 4, 5.
The words repeat, of peace on earth, goodwill to men.
Lovely. Let's take that again, just the basses. 4, 5.
The words repeat, of peace on earth, goodwill to men.
Smashing. Let's have the tenors and basses, please. 4, 3, 4.
And wild and sweet the words repeat, of peace on earth, goodwill to men.
Lovely. Everybody, please, from bar 4. 3, 4.
And wild and sweet the words repeat, of peace on earth, goodwill to men.
Sing the whole of the first verse. That's the whole of the first verse. 3, 4.
I heard the bells on Christmas Day, their old carols play, and wild and sweet the words repeat, of peace on earth, goodwill to men.
Lovely. Okay, excellent. Before we move on to the second verse, I'm going to ask my colleagues here for any suggestions and words of wisdom in that first verse. I would like somebody to talk about controlling and managing that massive crescendo and diminuendo in the second line. Somebody wants to talk about that one. Anybody?
I might talk about that, but I will talk about the leapy.
Okay, talk about the leaping things, and then somebody else think about the... Yeah.
So the soprano part has got lots of large intervals. We start with a fourth and then a fifth, then back down, etc. And instead of thinking up and down, it's very tempting when you have such an interesting rhythm as this to think very much that you're going up and down rather than singing phrases. And it's very tempting, but it's not particularly helpful. So you've absolutely got to have the destination in mind and know how you're going to get there, particularly phrases like the second one the sops have, which both start and finish on the same note. And you want to make sure that you do actually start and finish on the actual same note.
Can I? Oh, sorry.
No,
Oh.
I was just thinking, actually, Simon, your point about the words was so nice, because I think in a piece like this, it's in 5/4, it's quite a jumpy rhythm, it says lively, it starts loud. The temptation just to go is sort of is quite real, and actually, especially in that lovely second line, just to think, as Miriam was saying as well, think about that sense of line, and actually what we're singing about is it's wild and sweet, and it's not a kind of, we're not in a barn dance at that point.
No,
So it's useful to think of like that.
I think that's one of the reasons I chose this carol, is because it has that lovely uplifting English tradition of carol music, but actually the text within there is very relevant to, Christmas is going to be difficult for all of us, I think, this year, for many reasons, isn't it? Being set aside from families, and I think there was always that tinge of darkness around Christmas, and we can lose that if we just go with the jaunty tune, which is what Hannah's point is, I think.
Yeah. Well, following on from that, I would just 5/4 can seem a scary thing to see at the beginning of a piece sometimes, and And it is really tempting just to be like, I'm going to get this rhythm right, and the bells, and exactly what Hannah said. But yeah, it can be quite legato, and thinking of it as a kind of dancey thing, but quite light. I don't know. I heard the bells on, as opposed to I'm subdividing. I'm against the beat. Yeah. Actually going with it as if it's the beat. So I heard the bells on Christmas Day. It's easier than thinking I'm still in crotchets. It's kind of, it's almost a bar of 6/8 and then a bar of 2, if that makes sense, rather than.
Well,
I don't know.
Yeah, the problem is it's not. Yeah, we've got to be careful of it not sounding like 10/8.
Yeah.
It doesn't. We can't let it sound like. It doesn't get into 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1. You know,
Yeah. True.
It is very much 5/4, but at the same time, we've got to find that all those things, the words, the fact that it goes up and down, the fact that it's a rhythm, and he has put it in a way that isn't. To those of you who do read music, the first time I looked at it, I thought, my brain wants to read 10/8, and for those of you who are not sure what I mean by that, think of da 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 da. So I mean that's not. But you've got 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 is what it looks like, but it's not that. It's 1 2. It's bum 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 bum. The accents are on beats that way. Yeah. So da 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 da. It's not that. So that's another thing to get around. So you have to become familiar enough with the music so that what Tom is talking about here is we don't hear you working out the rhythm as you're singing it. Was the main point.
Yeah, exactly.
From that.
Well, musicianship is the silent partner in your technique. So if you're blind to the rhythm, or if you find that incredibly challenging, then your singing will go out the window because all you're thinking is how 1 2 3 1. Oh no. Simon said not 1 2 3 1 2 3, and that way you'll lose your legato and your good singing technique.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, enough said on that one. We'll come back to them. And let's look at the second verse. And thought how, as the day had come, the belfries of all Christendom had rolled along, thund-brokering song. Like I can't even say that now. Should have done your tongue twisters better. Okay, let's sing this through to the next piece on earth. So we're going through the next verse. So this is bar 9. Okay, 3 4.
And thought how as the day had come, the belfries of all Christendom had rolled along the unbroken song of peace on earth, goodwill to men.
Lovely. Let's just look at that much. Now, the whole score gets denser as the harmonies get denser. It's always, I think, a good thing with close, rich harmonies like that if we make sure we get the bass line in place first and build it up from that. So let's do that, shall we, Tom? Let's take your line. Let's just go, as we did with the previous verse, let's go the first few bars and thought through to had come. 3
And thought how as the day had come.
So we've also got that 3/4 bar in there to pay attention to as well. Let's take that again, basses. 3 4.
And thought how as the day had come.
Lovely. Let's have the tenor line, please, with Ed. 3 4.
And thought how as the day had come.
And again, please. 3 4.
And thought how as the day had come.
Tenors and basses. 3 4.
And thought how as the day had come.
Lovely. Altos. Here we go. 3 4.
And thought how as the day had come.
And again. 3 4.
And thought how as the day had come.
Lovely. Let's take the altos, tenors and basses. 3 4.
And thought how as the day had come.
Sopranos. 3, 4.
And thought how as the day had come.
And again. 3, 4.
And thought how as the day had come.
With the altos. Sopranos and altos. 3, 4.
And thought how as the day had come.
Everybody, please. 3, 4.
And thought how as the day had come.
Lovely. Let's continue on with the soprano line. 3, 4. Just that much again, please. 3, 4. Lovely. Altos, please. 3, 4.
The belfries of all Christendom.
Again, please, altos. 3, 4.
The belfries of all Christendom.
Okay, with the sopranos. Sopranos and altos. 3, 4.
The belfries of all Christendom.
Lovely. Tenors, please. 3, 4.
The belfries of all Christendom.
Again. I just want you, where you start to cross over with other notes, yours are the notes with the sticks going upwards, yes? Just in case you're getting confused there. Tenors again. 3, 4.
The belfries of all Christendom.
Lovely. Basses. 3, 4.
The belfries of all Christendom.
And the same again, basses. 3, 4.
The belfries of all Christendom.
Tenors and basses. 3, 4.
The belfries of all Christendom.
Everybody, please. 3, 4.
The belfries of all Christendom.
Let's go back to and thought how as the day. So that's the previous phrase. 3, 4.
And thought how as the day had come. The belfries of all Christendom.
Bass. Let's take the bass line here. Ready? 3, 4.
And roll along the unbroken song of...
Yeah, we'll get to the up piece. Yeah, we'll just go through the song. So again, there, the 3, 4, it looks like it's a 6/8 the way it's slurred. Dee da, dee da. And maybe he wants that to feel a little against the rhythm of everything else, because you got that, but make sure it doesn't become a triplet. It's still 3. Dee da 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 da. Dee da 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 da. Dee da 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 da. But maybe, do you think this is an accent on implied by the slur that it might go dee da dee da?
I think
But
so.
it's
It doesn't have to dance though. It just goes with the text.
Just
Yeah.
rolls along.
Roll
Yeah.
along. Exactly.
Right, it rolls along. Exactly. It
I
rolls
think
along.
that's what he's doing. I
Yeah. Let's take basses, please. 3, 4.
And roll along the unbroken song.
Boom. Lovely. And then take a breath there, obviously, for the next phrase. One more time, basses. 3, 4.
And roll along the unbroken song.
Lovely. Tenors, please. 3, 4.
And rolled along the unbroken song.
Lovely. Somewhat unexpected. That sort of
Functional.
sinister, even. There's that darkness there. Let's take that again, please, Tim. 3, 4.
And rolled along the unbroken song.
Does remind me a little bit of the League of Gentlemen too, but anyway, let's go back to had rolled, tenors and basses, please. 3, 4.
And rolled along the unbroken song.
And you hold that through to the next bar there. Let's take the altos, please. 3, 4. Lovely again, please, altos. 3, 4. Smashing. Sopranos, please. 3, 4. Very hymn-like, that one, isn't it? Let's try it again. 3, 4. Let's have the sopranos and the altos there, please. 3, 4. Lovely. Let's take everybody, please. Hand roll along. 3, 4. Hand roll along the unbroken song. Yeah, let's go on and look at this last little bit of this one. So this is the basis. Let's go and take your line, going through to the end of this verse. 3, 4.
Of peace on earth, goodwill to men.
3,
2 men.
Sorry, we both made a mistake there.
let's take that again.
Yep.
2, 3.
Of peace on earth, goodwill to men. 2 men.
Okay, we'll start right on that bar because that's where the tenors come in with this section here. You're starting on R and then off piece. Let's try that. 3, 4.
Of peace on earth, goodwill to men.
Again, please. 3, 4.
Of peace on earth, goodwill to men.
So we'll take it from the crotchet pickup from the basses and tenors. 2, 3.
Of peace on earth, goodwill to men. Peace on earth, goodwill to men.
Lovely. Let's take the alto line. So that starts at bar 20. 3, 4. Be very careful after that tie, that long tie going across bars 20 to 21, that you don't come in early when you move to the F sharp there. Let's take that again, please. 3 and 1, 2 and 3. Lovely. Sopranos. 3, 4. Lovely. And again, please. 3 and. Everybody, please. So this is going one crotchet earlier with the pickup from the basses. 2, 3.
Of peace on earth, goodwill to peace on earth, goodwill to men.
Fantastic. Let's take all of that verse, please. So this is from bar 9. From bar 9. And thought how as the day. Yeah. 3, 4.
And thought how as the day had come, that every of all Christendom had rolled along the unbroken song of peace on earth, goodwill to peace on earth, goodwill to men.
Lovely. Any comments on that movement? And that. Oh. Sounding great. Let's see if we can get one more verse of this one done, and then we'll start looking at the Baby in an Ox's Stall as well. So let's. Yes. So now we're all in unison again. So except that then it splits. So let's take this and work on the split. So let's start with the soprano line this time. So till ringing, singing on its way. 3, 4.
Till ringing, singing
that again. 3, 4.
Till ringing, singing on its way.
Lovely. Altos, please. 3, 4.
Till ringing, singing on its way.
And again, please. 3, 4.
Till ringing, singing on its way.
Lovely. Sopranos and altos. 3, 4.
Till ringing, singing on its way.
Fabulous. Tenors. 3, 4.
Till ringing, singing on its way.
He does like to put you on that C sharp. It's lovely. Spine-tinglingly nice. Let's take it again, tenors. 3, 4.
Till ringing, singing on its way.
Basses. 3, 4.
Till ringing, singing on its way.
Again, please. 3, 4.
Till ringing, singing on its way.
Tenors and basses. 3, 4.
Till ringing, singing on its way.
Lovely. So I get excited by chords like that. Everybody, please. Who doesn't? 3, 4.
Till ringing, singing on its way.
Lovely. Let's start with the bass in this line, I think. The rest of the world revolving deep down there.
Well,
3, 4.
The world revolved from night to day.
Take that much. 3, 4.
The world revolved from night to day.
Tenors, let's have your line. 3, 4.
The world revolved from night to day.
Let's take that again, please. 3, 4.
The world revolved from night to day.
With the basses. 3, 4.
The world revolved from night to day.
Altos. 3, 4.
The world revolved from night to day.
Again. 3, 4.
The world revolved from night to day.
Altos, tenors, and basses. 3, 4.
The world revolved from night to day.
Sopranos. 3, 4.
The world revolved from night to day.
Off. Okay. 3, 4.
The world revolved from night to day.
Everybody, please. 3, 4.
The world revolved from night to day.
Lovely. Going on. Sopranos, please. Let's go through to chant sublime. Okay. 3, 4.
A voice, a chime sublime.
Beautiful and sublimely sung too. Let's take that again, please. 3, 4.
A voice, a chime sublime.
Lovely. Let's take the altos, please. 4, 5. One more time, please, altos. 3, 4, 5. Tenors, please. 4, 5. There's that C sharp again. Let's take the tenors again. 4, have the tenors and the altos, please. 4, 5. Let's have the sopranos, altos and tenors. So just starting one crotchet earlier again, yeah? 3, 4. Just missing the bass part now, aren't we? Let's take the bass part, please, from 28. 4 and... Say that again, be very, very careful to make sure that we move onto the 4th beat all together. Yeah, it's really important. We've got all the other parts nicely meshed. Okay? 4, 5. Everybody, please. So with the pickup from the sopranos. 3, 4. Lovely. So bear in mind, we've got those R's. Those of you who've got the R's, you've got those lovely hairpin bends, crescendos and diminuendos, not hairpin bends. Something totally different. We don't want those. But we do want those crescendos and diminuendos at that point, please. Let's finish this verse then. Sopranos again, please. Of Peace on Earth. Quite a jump there. 3, 4. Yes, so not only do we have that F sharp up to the D, but then we have that leap down to the B at the end. So really taking you out of your comfort zone there, and I think for good musical reason. Let's take that again. 3, 4. Lovely. Let's have the altos, please. So this is bar 32. So you're coming in after the second beat. So it's 1, 2, and da, bum. Okay. 1, 2. Altos, please. 1, 2.
Good way to bed.
Again. 1, 2.
Good way to bed.
Let's just see how that fits, because the rhythm is the same for the tenors and basses. So let's just hear the sopranos and altos put that together, and we'll put the tenors and basses within a moment. So, of peace. 3, 4.
Of peace on earth, good will to men.
Lovely. Let's take the tenor. 1, 2.
Good will to men.
Don't breathe too late. If you breathe too late, you're going. That rhythm is not going to come in correct.
I fell into
Keeping it
that
in
trap.
check.
Oh, did you? What a very honest man. I didn't hear it, but there you go. I couldn't see him. Anyway, let's take that again. 1, 2.
Good will to men.
Okay, and now Tom is going to very cleverly split into an F sharp and a D. Which are you going to go for? Let's go for the lower note, because I think that's the trickier one to pitch, isn't it? So you have a choice, basses and baritones, as to whether you sing an F sharp or a B, but we'll sing it as a B this time. We'll sing it both ways, but yeah, here we go. 1, 2.
Good will to man.
Okay, let's take it one more time with that. 1, 2.
Good will to man.
And one time going to the F sharp for those of you who want to sing the F sharp. 1, 2.
Good will to man.
Let's have the tenors and basses, make sure that's together before we put everything together. 1, 2.
Good will to man.
Everybody please, from the soprano pickup at the end of bar 31. 3, 4.
Good will to man.
Lovely, so let's take that verse please. So back to till ringing, singing. Yep. 3, 4.
Till ringing, singing on its way, the world revolves from night to day.
Fabulous. Let's sing this one from the top to there. We've done 3 verses. Any comments overall from anybody before we sing this? No? No? Excellent. So lots and lots of things to think about at this point in the game, and hopefully over the next few weeks we'll stop thinking about some of them, those being the rhythm, because you'll start feeling those. But do, as we start relaxing into the piece, let's not forget the text that we're singing. And enjoy finding all these wonderful dynamics that have been placed in this piece as well. Okay, let's take it from the top, please.
I heard the bells on Christmas Day, their old familiar carols play, and wild and sweet the words they read of peace on earth, goodwill to men, and thought how as the day had come, the belfries of old Christendom had rolled along the unbroken song of peace on earth, goodwill to men, till ringing, singing on its way, the world revolved from night to day. Goodwill to men, and from
And that's the next bit. We'll save that for next week. Okay, lovely, super. Remember also you can practice this using core. You can hear these parts, you can single out your part, you can mix the other parts. So somebody was asking about some other work and how could I just hear the alto line? Well, join up for core, it's free. And then you can solo out your part entirely. And sing along with Hannah in many of the recordings. How enjoyable is that? You could take Hannah home with you. Yeah. Okay, let's move from that one. How are we doing for time? Oh, we're doing quite well. Remember, I do want at the end of tonight, we will sing through Christmas Day as well. So the last 10 or so minutes, probably 12 minutes for that. Baby in an Ox's Stall by Thomas Hewitt Jones. This is the one we sang last week. Now, there are time changes in this. We do go from 3/4 to 4/4. Not quite as complex, though, rhythmically, as that one. So, Miriam, could I ask you to step forward? Actually, yeah, step forward. Let's start right, because we sang this through last week, so people hopefully have got some of it in their minds. You could do it from there or here, if you wish. I just want you, because this is a big soprano solo, we might as well teach our sopranos that solo.
Okay. Do you want me to stay here?
Or here. Oh, come here. Come forward. Sure they're getting bored of seeing me up front all the time.
I don't know how much less bored they're going to be of seeing me, but all right. All right. Do you want to give me a tempo, Simon, so I don't do it the wrong? Okay, ready? Yeah. Should we go just from where the sopranos come in? Okay. So it stops from where we come in. Here we go. 2 and 3. The Virgin Mary bore a son. It was God's plan to bring to us the Holy One, the Saviour, God in man, a holy boy by a virgin birth. Okay, so this piece is so pretty.
Yes.
And I've got to say, I was playing this at home today, and my husband, who's also a choir conductor, came leaning quietly over my shoulder to find out more about it. So there's only one tricky thing that we need to watch out for as stops in this piece, and as we go through the whole piece, you'll see this, which is bar 16. And the composer writes such a good tune. It's an awesome tune, but he's a little bit cunning and changes it ever so slightly once or twice. So you're going to watch out for when you have sixth and when you have fifth. So we're going to watch out for that. So can we start actually right there, the pick up to bar 16. Oh baby, ready, 2 and 3, 4. Oh baby in an ox's stall. Super. So we've got a sixth there between the D and the B flat. Watch out for that. This is coming back to get you. Can we go back a little tiny bit further? Don't ever worry about the time changes in this piece. The undercurrent, the tactus, the beat remains absolutely the same. You're not going to go wrong if you just keep counting in crotchets. It's going to be totally fine. It looks way more complicated than it is. So can we go back to where it looks terribly complicated and we add a page turn? Can we go back to Our Holy Boy? This is the bottom of the first page. We're in halfway through the last 3-4 bar on the first page. 1, 2. Our holy boy, by a virgin birth, he lives on earth, a saving grace for one and all. A baby in an ox's stall. Super, well done. So earth, birth, great opportunities to take a breath. If you use the breath to make the consonant, you'll be able to react and recoil a great breath straight back in so you can keep your breath flowing for the next phrase. Going back a tiny bit further. So can we go back to bring to us, this is halfway through the second line down. What's that? Bar 4, 5, 6. The pick up into bar 7. So we're changing from 3-4 to 4-4. Remember, it's not worth getting upset about. It's completely fine. To bring to us the Holy One. Now we've got this beautifully written out crescendo and diminuendo. Whenever you need to sing softer, you have to keep breathing out. Don't be tempted to stop the breathing out. Otherwise we'll get Holy One. And we'll all be clinging on it. It'll sound horrible. To bring, ready, 2 and 3. To bring to us the Holy One, the Saviour, God in man, a holy boy, by a virgin birth, he lives on earth, a saving grace for one and all. A baby in an ox's stall. Do we know it all now, Simon? I think we probably do.
No, that's great. It's so important. The sopranos, you have such a major role to play in this, so thank you for leading us through that, Miriam. Okay, let's go down to the bottom of the next page where everybody comes in, the angel Gabriel. Let's start with the basses. Let's build this up again, please. So here's just the basses. 2, 3.
The angel Gabriel said to Mary, "Do not be afraid. She would surely bear a son, a promise that the Lord hath made."
Okay, I think that's a good part to go. So I think don't get too wrapped up in the wonderful, luscious romantic harmonies here and start singing too loud too soon. Yes? Particularly when you're sustaining those C's and then going down to the F. The danger is...
Yeah, you need. Yeah, the C cannot be louder than the F.
Yeah.
If at all possible.
Yeah.
So yeah, you need to take that resonance and that growth further down. Is that doesn't sound good? Anyway, yeah. So make Mary the end point.
And we don't want any edge in this sound at all, ever. Yeah. Lovely. Let's take the tenor line, please. 2, 3.
The angel Gabriel said to Mary, do not be afraid, she would surely bear a son, a promise that the Lord hath made.
Lovely. Tenors and basses. 2, 3.
The angel Gabriel said to Mary, do not be afraid, she would surely bear a son, a promise that the Lord hath made.
Fabulous.
Is it worth saying there? It's really useful to bear in mind in pieces like this where you're all very close and there are bits where you're singing in harmony and then in unison, to really pay attention to when you're singing in unison and not and realise that you're then singing the same note as everyone else. So for instance, that bar 26, you'll notice we ended singing exactly the same thing, and to sing a bit more within yourself at that moment so it doesn't suddenly burst out.
Yes,
And
this is
be
going to be
unsubtle.
a natural.
Yeah, it's going to
crescendo
sound louder,
when it's
exactly.
unison, isn't it?
So
Yeah.
be subtle at those moments and know where they come.
And I think equally in bar 24, even though they're not unison pitches, it's a unison rhythm throughout. To be careful that the altos, tenors and basses make sure that you are supporting the soprano line there and that isn't too loud. Okay, very nice. Let's take the alto line, please, from 20. 2, 3.
Angel Gabriel said to Mary, do not be afraid, she would surely bear a son, a promise that the Lord hath made.
Fabulous.
Oh, we've got all the best notes. Look at that.
Yeah.
I think he writes all the lines are so beautiful. I mean, he writes a beautiful tune, but then he doesn't ignore making every other line just lovely to sing and hear. Soprano. 2, 3.
Gabriel said to Mary, do not be afraid, she would surely bear a son, a promise that the Lord hath made.
Everybody, please, from bar 20. 2, 3.
The angel Gabriel said to Mary, do not be afraid, she would surely bear a son, a promise that the Lord hath made.
The chosen seed. Let's look at this from the sopranos. Let's take this through to the baby in an ox's stall at the top of page, the next page, basically. So let's start with the sopranos. The chosen seed. 1, 2.
The chosen seed of Israel's race, ransomed from the throne, are singing grace for one and all. A baby in an ox's stall.
Lovely. Altos, please, from the same place. 1, 2.
The chosen seed of Israel's race, ransomed from the foe, a saving grace for one and
Lovely. Can you talk about R's, particularly when they're that low, because yours are just so beautiful and unhindered by any tension. How do you shape your?
Well, I would say, especially in a context like this one, you don't need to go looking for it. It's something that just sort of sits there within the context of what the sopranos are singing. And actually, particularly in this, it's quite low, the tune for the sopranos a lot of the time. So the altos, we're very close in pitch to the tune, and you don't need to push to make yourself heard. It'll come through whatever. So just be delicate and calm, and I think it'll just
focus
happen
on the
naturally.
quality of sound, not the volume,
exactly.
and just enjoying.
Yeah. But always at the service of the tune in a piece like this, I would say.
We're the backing singers.
Yeah, we are. Absolutely, we are.
Yeah, we'll still be around one mic if we were allowed.
Yes, exactly. And also, we're talking about unison. Another thing to pay attention to is your tuning. So as you turn over that page, you need to have made a note and remind yourself that you are going to be in unison in the next page, because you've got to very, very quickly make sure you've got fractions of a millisecond to get your ear attuned to the fact that everybody is singing the same note. So it's not just volume, but also pitch. Can we take the tenors, please?
The chosen seed of Israel's race, ransomed from the foe, a saving grace for one and all.
Beautiful. Basses. 1, 2.
The chosen seed of Israel's race, ransomed from the foe, a saving grace for one and all.
So pay close attention to where that crescendo and that diminuendo starts.
Yeah,
It's
subtle.
not right the way through to the downbeat of the next bar. It's just after the third beat. So we crescendo into all the third beat and then diminuendoing in that part. Tenors and basses. 1, 2.
The chosen seed of Israel's race, ransomed from the foe, a saving grace for one and
Everybody please from that point. 1, 2.
The chosen seed of Israel's race, ransomed from the foe, a saving grace for one and all.
I think that's a good place to sing through 2 for this week. We'll continue on from that point in next week's rehearsal. And then if we sing through this now to that point, that gives us enough time to crack open the Holst and sing Christmas Day before we finish tonight.
Simon,
Yes.
one more thought on singing a piece like this, which
Yeah.
is that I think because it's so luscious and beautiful, there's a temptation in almost every phrase to wallow in it a bit and to over-enjoy it, and you can very quickly lose any sense of tempo or flow. And for you as a conductor, if we're all la 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 la, there's only so much you can do. So it's our responsibility to make sure we're with you, and then when it comes to it, those bits where you're actually wanting to pull it out are all the more special if we collectively as singers are a bit responsible for.
Yes, so please watch my right shoulder blade.
Exactly, yes. I was going to say, it's amazing how much you can gain.
Yeah, it's a little difficult there. No, but point very well made. And it's always at those cadence points, isn't it, at the end of each phrase, that we sort of, particularly with these harmonies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Hannah.
Stop having fun.
Yeah. Well, no, just hold some of the fun back for
Yes.
us. Okay, let's take it from the top. And more next week.
We're doing it wrong. We should all be on stools up here at that point and then stand up.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. So we'll continue looking at that next week. Let's sing Christmas Day. Let's keep a nice allegretto tempo.
Why don't you sing it, Hannah?
Because I sang it last week.
It says mezzo-soprano, Hannah.
Just a little bit.
Fine.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yep.
A nice bouncy allegretto this time. Okay, here we go. And. So I should have checked that you've all got your music. Hopefully you've all got your music out now, yes?
We've almost.
Excellent. Christmas Day.
It's in the middle of that somewhere.
Page to find. Good Christian man, rejoice with heart and soul and voice. Give ye heed to what we say. News, news, Jesus Christ is born today. Ox and ass before him bow, and he is in the manger now. Christ is born today. Christ is born today.
Good Christian men, rejoice with heart and soul and voice. Give ye heed to what we say. News, news, Jesus Christ is born today. Ox and ass before him bow, and he is in the manger now. Christ is born today. Christ is born today. God rest you, merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay. Remember Christ our Saviour was born on Christmas Day, to save our soul from woe and sin when we were gone astray. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy. In Bethlehem, in Julie, this blessed babe was born, and laid within a manger upon that holy morn. The witch's mother Mary did nothing take in scorn. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy. Good Christian men, rejoice with heart and soul and voice. Now ye hear of endless bliss. Joy, joy, Jesus Christ was born for this. He hath opened the heavenly door, and man is blessed evermore. Christ was born for him. Oh, to the Lord sing praises, all you within this place, and with true love and brotherhood each other now embrace. This holy tide of Christmas all others doth deface. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy.
Good Christian men, rejoice with heart and soul and voice. Now ye need not fear the grave. Peace, peace. Jesus Christ was born to save. Cause you one and cause you all to gain his everlasting home.
Christ was born to save.
Christ was born to save.
Lovely. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for your lovely evening of singing. And next week, we'll continue looking at those two carols, and we'll also start looking at the Vaughan Williams Fantasia on Christmas carols. As I said, if you're looking now to purchase them individually, go to the music site Encore, and you'll find more information there. Do keep trying with Encoder, though, and I'll put up some helpful information on the website to try and help you through that as well. You can join our Facebook group, and also remember, if you want to join in the chat during these workshops, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and then you can be part of the fun on the chat as well. I don't see what's going on there, but I'm told you have a lot of fun anyway. Anyway, from all of us here, thank you so much for joining us. Stay safe, stay singing, and we'll see you at the next workshop. Take care. Bye-bye.